Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again with a other slasher horror from the 80s. Well, this one, if you look it up, it's called Hell High. And according to IMDb, it came out in 1987. Now, if you look at the trivia, apparently it was already made in 85 but was released until 89, and there's a reason for that. I'll explain. Now, the movie gets a 5.2, which, like I said before, for a slasher movie isn't that bad. The average mark for a slasher movie is a good indication to at least give it a watch. Directed by Douglas Grossman. Now, one of the main characters is Mrs. Storm, or Brooke Storm. She's the teacher of a high school in New York, and you'll hear the accents in some of these characters, the New Yorkian accent in a few of these high school teenagers a lot. She's played by Maureen Moody, and I recognize her face, but she does a lot of TV work, episode work. And the other actor I know was Christopher Cousins, and he plays one of these kids called John, and he's in The Grudge 2 and also in the TV series Breaking Bad. So now you've got this story that begins basically, the synopsis of the story is this girl that's playing in the marsh in the swamps. Now, I would never let my daughter play there, but okay, it's daytime and she's playing with her dollies. And eventually, this couple comes on a motorcycle, and where she has her dollies in this little wooden shack, she runs away, hides, and the guy and the girl that he has with him, the teenagers, want to have sex. She's lying flat. Then she doesn't want to have sex there because she thinks it's gross and somebody can see. And the guys have almost having this rapey vibe and aggressive. So he takes one of the dolls of little Mrs. Storm. So this is when she's still a young girl, and pulls out the arms and the head and throws it away, and then he yells. He goes out and yells, "Bitch, get the hell over here! We're gone." So she, just like a obedient dog, is goes to these douchebags motorcycle, climbs on, and little Mrs. Storm takes a pile of sludge, and then this happens. Now, of course, she didn't want that, but she was angry for her dolly, and she just wanted to pay the guy back. And of course, it had deadly consequences. She never told anybody. 18 years later, she's a teacher in this high school, but it looks like a high school. It's in New York, but you've got this three misfit gang, starting with Dickens, and this guy. I'm gonna tell you, he's a sociopath, and he should have been expelled a million times. Then you've got Queenie, the teenager, the female teenager of the group. Smiler, this fat, curly head guy who constantly smiles. And then later on, they have this new recruit, and he's called John. He was the quarterback, but he didn't want to That's the story behind it because it's really vague. Everybody's calling him a coward, even the coach and some people. Everybody at school is calling him the cowards because doesn't want to be a quarterback anymore. He wants to focus on his future. And Dickens sees it. Dickens is smart. He sees this and he takes the opportunity to manipulate him and join the gang of misfits, basically. Although the misfits, he becomes a misfit, but he's still kind of the voice of reason. And you would think Queenie too, but anywho, so Dickens at some point in Mrs. Storm's class, she teaches biology. He he's being an asshole, douchebag, grade A, and he Mrs. Storm very insecure. You can see that from the trauma, the PTSD she probably has, and she asked him to gather all the tests and then file them, and he says, File them? Yes." Throws them in the air, and then he's this far from her face and says something threatening, and she slaps him in the face. And of course, the Dickens is angry, and then the bell goes, and then you think the bell's gonna save you, and then he goes out, and he's how in that New Yorkian accent, hey, what you doing? The fucking whore! Give me the gabagool. this is a So he wants basically to prank her. Okay, everything in this movie is about pranking. And John at some point creates a relationship with Queenie, and you would think these two are kind of, like I said, the voices of reason, but at the end, it isn't. So they go to the house at night of Mrs. Storm, put masks on, and with bags full of swamp sludge, and go crawling on her roof and start hitting it and throwing sludge at the window and so on and so on and so on, and sludge on her face. And Dickens goes so far to even punch the glass in because he's going there for one reason and one reason only, that's to rape her. Yeah, because he saw her in through the window before that night came, when she was taking a shower, and because she's never seen a man in her life and never had sex, she's in the shower rubbing her breasts. You have a lot of nudity in this movie, and is getting this orgasm. And there's even a scene where Queenie and John are sitting together. It's this moment here, a picture, when she says, she was exercising, and she says, now, look away, I gotta put something else on. And then she, yeah, look, and you can see she's flashing her boobs, and then he's, whoa. And apparently that wasn't the actress. She wanted to do it, but when she saw the crew, she was nervous, and she said, "No, I'm." So they took somebody else and wanted to flash some boobs, and yeah, you can clearly see that. So, and that's the story. So they go to prank Mrs. Storm. That a prank that goes way wrong, and because of the psychopath mind of Dickens. Pros and cons. Pros. The movie has some. When this, it's a slasher movie and a teen horror movie. The thing is, it's There's some good gore when the slashing really starts, but that's like the scene that I showed you with the impalement, and then a few kills. You have some good kill scenes, but is there something good? I actually thought no, no. It's sad to say. It's really sad to say. Um, I thought, okay, let's go to the cons. The only thing I can say is the gore, and that's it. Let's talk about the cons. The cons are the writing of this movie and the directing of this movie. It was so bad. The actors weren't bad, but they were written bad, they were directed bad, and it went over the top. So when this scene, even when she's in the shower, Mrs. Storm trying to caress herself, just soaping up her boobs, you the way she's even having this orgasm is, I mean, it was so over the top. Apparently, Miss Moody, who played was actually pregnant, and you can see that at some parts of the movie when even when she comes out of the shower, you can see her. Not everything, but you could have seen everything. But she has a little belly, and even in the nightgown, you see that it looks like she has a little belly. She was pregnant during the making of this movie, and she did some crazy stunts. Now, you probably seen the poster. Put the poster on the movie in the beginning. You can see that it's these four misfits, and then you've got this shadow of a woman, and that's Mrs. Storm. And you probably know where the story is going because of her trauma and her PTSD. She's gonna get triggered again, and she goes. But the story doesn't make a lick of sense. So before the misfits really get in, this the swimming coach, she knows her. Apparently the football coach has a thing for her, but the swimming coach has a thing for her too. She's just there wasn't and the thing is these characters, they don't achieve to anything. They are there and then they leave and they don't hear anything of the. So she helps her. She minimalizes the damage, even the windows are breaking in. She doesn't listen to her, puts her in bed, is very touchy with her, and gives her a quaalude. Here's the scene.
Get you through the night. Oh, don't worry. It's not gonna hurt you. It's just a Quaalude. Kids take them all the time. Come on.
Now she's
yes.
implying,
Yes.
she's
Take
implying
it.
that every kid's taking Quaaludes these days. Now, what I know of Quaalude is that it's a very strong uh, pill to basically make your body feel like you filter fish. You know, your muscles are completely, you can't, you're numb, you pass out. I mean, I know about these pills. When you see The Wolf of Wall Street, he was taking that with Coke to kind of balance everything out to be, you know, and stress him from the with the Quaaludes, but then giving the Coke, get the Coke to put to get through his job. I mean that every kid's taking them, and she's really pressing her to take it. And then this scene that I just thought was so Dickens goes in when the teacher leaves, the swimming coach, and he crawls on top of her and wanting to rape her. Then Queenie comes in and she also crawls on her. Everybody's thinking it's even the moment when John arrives, they all minimalize the fact that he wanted to rape an unconscious or semi unconscious woman. The only thing is she couldn't fight back because she was completely numb from the Quaaludes. Here's that scene.
You'll never learn, you retard.
I'm gonna nail this bitch.
No, you're not. Now, come on, let's get out of here.
Who's gonna stop me?
I am.
What?
So like
He's gonna stop your ass.
he's there just that was his thing, and then something happens that okay. So these are a little bit of spoilers, but it's not the end. It's the end. The slashing begins after this. Okay, so these guys are John and Dickens are wrestling, and John wins because he was a quarterback before, so he knows a few moves, and then Mrs. Storm hears this and jumps through the window, and then their reactions. Boop.
Oh, shit! Savage! She's hurt bad.
Chekhov. Smiler Chekhov.
There went my future.
Hey, what can we do if she's...
Get the hell out of here.
That crazy bitch. She really went for it. Well, how bad is it?
We're in for it.
Well, what's the verdict?
She's dead!
So she's basically dead at this point. Dickens doesn't mind. He actually at some point says the hall deserved it. And nobody in John, oh, there goes my future. And everybody's like, okay, she's dead. It's almost like like I said, it's written so badly, so bad, and she's actually dead. The story is that she comes back to life, okay, and then the slashing starts, and I won't tell you how it ends, who dies, and how it ends. The like I said, the cons, the writing, the acting, the direction of this director, what their passive way they're handling a rape and a murder, or a rape and a suicide, but I mean that a suicide that they caused because she was completely out, a teacher that putting pushing a quaalude to her mouth. This woman clearly had needed psychiatry help of a psychiatrist, but she couldn't, because if she goes to her psychiatrist, she's gonna say I killed 2 people accidentally, but she doesn't want anyone to know that, and she had to live with that. And it's just the acting, the writing, and the direction that's just bad. Okay, bad, and I didn't like it. The first hour or so is cheesy. Okay, that something I like 80s cheese, but then those scenes in there, it's an hour long of them, that because Mrs. Storm is gone, then it's an hour long around these 4 teens, and they're 25-ish years old, but they're playing 17-year-old senior high schoolers. And because the quote is, when the students are dying to graduate, and it's constantly about them, and it's boring at some point, and you see where's the tension, where's the atmosphere, where's the, even final exam, which a lot of people find boring, is a lot better because you got a little bit of building up of tension with the killer, and also you got fun characters. These 4 idiots, you want them to die. You don't feel anything for them. Even John, who was the voice of reason, and he doesn't actually. He's thinking about his future than let's gang rape, and doesn't care if she's dead. I mean, it's just they're actually going to try to cover it up willingly. That means almost it's not murder, but a accomplice to a somebody killing. I mean, it's something you go to jail for, right? So I just these characters, like I said, writing, direction, acting, and boring. Okay, the movie really starts to take has a pace in the 1 hour mark, and then the last it's an hour and 24 minutes long. The last 24 minutes it goes. Okay, that's the slasher moment. That's the slasher horror. Also, the reason why this movie was made in 85 and was released in 89 and it says 87 is because in 87 the actor who played Dickens, Christopher Straker, apparently died in 87 when he was 27 years old on through AIDS. So I'm bashing the guy, but it's the character, of course. But he sadly enough died by AIDS at the age of 27 in 1987. That's why they released it a few years later, because he's playing an asshole, sociopath, rapist, and possible murderer. I mean, so yeah, like I said, I give it a 4.5. You know, if it's one of these, if you're a slasher enthusiast like me, give it a watch. But it's on your, I always say 4.5 is on your own risk, okay? So I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned a little bit more about this movie. I hope you like it, comment, subscribe. It's totally free. It's all good. See you later, guys. Bye bye.